Pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana. Friends all, before I start, I want you all to contribute to my program and press the bell, like you usually do. Subscribe to it. Now, there are so many things to talk about. First, let me apologize for our technical difficulty in the past, and so many things are happening, and we are all busy. But you didn't miss anything. I want Guyanese to know the two major races, the East Indian descendant and the African descendant in Guyana. Guyana was granted a so-called independence, which is dependence from Great Britain in 1966, 26th of May. And thanks to a so-called independence, which I call dependence. But what amazed me, with the coalition government, because the PNC had, and I repeat, had never won an election in Guyana. It was a coalition government put them into power. Thanks to the United States government, who financed the 80-day strike through the TUC union, and when the beginning of all the catastrophe happened in Mackenzie, Wisma, and elsewhere, where many Indians had to run and leave the house. I don't believe, even on to this day, in Mackenzie or Wisma, if those Indians who had their property there receive it back, or it is still taken away by my black brothers and sisters from the African descendant. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make it clear. And what I'm going to say is going to offend a lot of you, but I cares one dog hell, because I don't live by y'all. But I want my black brothers to know, and you Indian, if you live by the sword, Jesus says, you shall and will die by the sword. The two major diseases in Guyana is the African descendant and the Indian descendant. Let me diagnose the African descendant. You're quick to get yourself into problem, confrontation, like your ancestor in tribal warfare. That is why your ancestor was sold to the European and was taken out from the mainland of Africa. And you all are lucky. And you come to the Caribbean and Guyana and elsewhere with the same tribalism, because you were focusing on white man this, white man that. And it is hard to get it out of you on educated black people. The educated one have nothing to do with it, because they know better, they understand better, and they want to live great. I want you all to stop and think. If the European didn't brought your ancestor out of mainland Africa, and your great ancestor did not send them out, sold them, where y'all would have been today? Maybe your ancestor would have killed out the whole family. You would have been here if the white man, as you say, the European, wasn't there to buy you. And again, I keep repeating, you all are doctors, lawyers, scientists, great musicians, and you all condemn the white race every time about slavery. But you forgot that you all also were slave owners, according to the Bible. And many great lands of Africa from the Zulu right back. And to be fair, you all got a problem. You're quick to listen to corrupt politicians and attack innocent people. The Chinese owe you something. The Indian owe you something. The European as a white man owe you something. And the Amerindian in Guyana owe you something. When the hell will you all stop telling people they owe you something? Did you loan them it? Did they borrow something from you? So that disease got to be cured. So I congratulate the educated one, the one who is wise enough to understand the difference for what went on. During the Burnham period, we see what happened to the East Indian race and other races. And if you go to hide it being a black person, may the Lord curse your generation, because you know it happened. You know it happened. In a country with 200-something thousand of you, 90-something% of the civil servant was blacks. Indian had a hard time to get civil servant job. And too many advantages are taken upon the women. Many were raped. Many were beaten. Men all were beaten. plenty kick down door, raping the women and their children and killing them. This is not things to be hidden. So you stupid Indian, better don't forget that. But that is the African descendant disease. But again, 70,000 to 80,000 of y'all was genuine human being who fear your God and believe in humanity and believe in the year after and believe what you do will come back to haunt you. And I congratulate you. Those who marry other races, I congratulate you to break the racial barrier. Now that is your sickness. And the late Walter Rodney was killed by you yourself. All right? That is your sickness. Racist, confused, and don't know how to run a country. Barnum take the 3-county train station and scrap it. The Bauxite Company. The Yellow Bus, the man should be given an award for destruction as a leader of a country that was progressing. And you, the Indian, your sickness is covetousness. Vindictive, spiteful, and corrupt to the core, and very ungrateful. But again, as much as you have that disease with you, you still had decent Indian who was not a part of that. And they want to live respectfully, just like our African descendant side. So in every race is good and bad. Indians are not racial people. They don't talk race. They are just corrupt and covetous, vindictive, spiteful, and very ungrateful. Right, Mansoor? Right, Mr. Vishnu Bandhu? And others? I got your blood in me. And I could tell you in my own mother family, there's a lot of jealousy and confusion is amongst their own, much less another race. My sister-in-law from my Coney, Indra Sigobin, as Indra Chang, say my brother must go and F his own mother, the woman who brought her into the family when she was a servant sleeping in people's kitchen, Indian people kitchen. It's a generation of drunkards and thieves. I am telling you that here today. And my brother Raistan Chong, my half-brother, if I get the will by God, I hang him for justice. And the whole court system is corrupt. Guyana don't have a judicial system. You have great judges, good magistrate, decent and honorable. But again, out of every 10, you only have 2 or 3. The 7 is corrupt to the core and very, very spiteful. If some of them belong to the PNC party or APNU, and you on the other party speaking out against them, the minister will call them and use it against you and they can lock you up wrongfully. I want a law that when this government change with a national front, the government laws will change, the great judges will be honored and be respectful to run for the country legislation or the seat to lead it. There are a few of them. It so happened that they all happens to be blacks who are great judges and magistrates. But many who was handpicked by president, prime minister, and their party affiliation are corrupt, racial, and very ungrateful. But let it be known to you, judges and magistrates, for there is a judge named God Almighty. What you Indian, anywhere you go, you're fighting for land. You're even robbing your mother, your brother. You're going to the Obia man. I tire repeating it, and you all won't change. I call upon Almighty God to put an earthquake in Guyana and destroy it where all of you building and putting up big skyscraper and kill you all out. Destroy the courthouse and kill the wicked magistrates and judges and the parliament and kill the wicked. That's all I can ask for, because we don't want your blood on our hands. Think of it. Y'all are vicious. I said open up the prisoner. Open up the prison and set those innocent prisoners free. For due to the situation of the country, many turn to crime. Which, by the way, Indians hire you, the black, to beat and kill their own and to lock up their own because what they want in life. And those are the Indians who should remember what happened to the 60s when they were beaten and killed and raped by you, the black people. And you, the stupid black people, fall for what the Indian bribe you because you're hungry. And when you think you get off, you lie. Because Partab gave James to kill Karaya, he already called Pasad, Gangadin, and Aladdin. They already know who will do the killing and who do the killing. So you ain't going too far. In the right government, we will have a real constitution where no man will be above the law of the land. What goes for Tom will be for Jerry. What goes for Sati will also be for Jenny. Okay? That make it clear. And this nonsense of emancipation would have to stop. Love the country that you were born in. Remember the ancestor. And since you talk about emancipation, your people came out of Ghana as the black people. Open up the door to Ghana. Allow the young black brothers and sisters to come into Guyana to make living, to take care of their family. Because that is where you all came from. And they are not responsible for the crime of 300 years ago. Same goes to you Indian. Don't blame the Indians for renting you out because you are hired workers. And I have to thank you. If you didn't come into the West Indies, Fiji Island and others, maybe our black brothers and sisters would have still been slaves. But since money passed and you all work for a salary, half a bit, bit and a half and two bit, they themselves get a break of freedom. But today, what amazed me, you're talking about the arrival. I know Bharat went to India and he found an auntie. I wonder if Ali can go to India, but he divide. I don't know if he can find an auntie or uncle in Pakistan or Bangladesh. Friends, this two race got problem all over the world. Anywhere there's a black person living out of Africa, even in Africa he got problem because of tribes. And he live in Europe, he got problem. He could live anywhere, he got problem. And the Indian too. Mugabe drove the European out of his country. Former Rhodesia. They burn them, send all the train line and some of the train engine in the copper field and lose everything. Friends, I'm telling you the truth here. Indians were drove out of Uganda, close to 1 million, because of the same covetousness and running to the obeah man. I had been mad with Idi Amin, but when I put my foot there and get to know the truth, I cannot apologize to a dead man. He was right. Because if you could divide India because of religion, and you are the same people, think of the other race and you, but you don't talk race. You don't act race because you kill your own family. You humiliate them. You go to the voodoo man for them. I called upon the young generation, Indian and black. Be united for a better Guyana. And since you, the black man, talk about exploitation and slavery, what have you done to the Amerindian in Guyana? Come on now. As I said, you Indian don't talk race, but you all want to own everything. You know, if God give me a passage to heaven free, and I'm a sinner, and I see 20 Indian in heaven, I going back down in hell and wait. Because you are going to take it away from God, or God going to throw you all out like we do with Lucifer, because you are so fucking covetous. Forgive me for the F word, but it's truth. You all are very vindictive and corrupt for land, like Mr. Mohan Lal in Canaan. Imagine yesterday, you got the American delegation, the vice president and other members, and Ms. Sarah Lynch, the ambassador, with a meeting with the opposition and members of the PPP party, and telling you what to do. Are you people not seeing who run in the country? Y'all are only overseer or managers like them say. But America allowing y'all to do all what you can do until they're ready for you. Saddam, the Shah, the Norwega, and plenty more I would mention. But America is still a great country to compare with many. Like many countries have their differences. But if there was no United States of America, no Indian and black in Guyana or Caribbean could live under a communist regime. Okay? So, with all this good, this bad, and let it be known to my black brothers, white man kill more white man than he killed any other race. England, France. America all with the Civil War. Okay? World War I and World War II with the Germans versus the world. Think of it. And many more. Today, we are associated with Saudi Arabia and Dubai, who are enslaving Indian children, African children, raping and killing, according to Facebook. It was on it. And underpay them and work them and do them all kind of things. And Guyana government is associated with them. When we was in the oil crisis in the 70s, was Trinidad who was at our side, and Venezuela. My fellow citizens opened up the border to those who was in the time of our darkness and the time of our needs and give them an opportunity to grow. Look at Haiti. They are our brothers too, only of languages because of European domination in Africa. So I call upon you, Mr. Ali, as Ramadan is soon approaching, do as Prophet Muhammad would do. Open up the door to the less fortunate and help the people in the world. For this earth belongs to all of us, not just a few of us. Think, if we believe in the teaching of Allah, Bhagwan or God, then there is no discrimination of nationality, color of skin, or religion in my Father's kingdom. For there are many rooms in his mansion. Ali, with all the money, the ministers empty from Burnham right back. Where did they put it? And where are them? Nothing that you stole, you will inherit it. So I call upon you here today, in respect to Guyana. Let's unite for a national front government, because when we put the black, it's race. When we put the Indian, we call them an installed government. But I'll tell you what, the Indian never lose an election. Everyone was taken away the GDF, used to fetch the ballot box. And America gets what America wants. Priya Manichan have caused the PPP to have a Scott election quick. And that is why David was elected. And since he called a man a hero who tried to blow up New York airport, Kennedy, that was his downfall. Carter arrived in the morning and get diarrhea. Everything was fixed. You don't disrespect America. We are servant of them. So long live the United States, and God bless their way of life. Even though everything is not right, but they're better than Russia, China, and the rest of the world for now. Let's work together and save this nation and democracy and freedom for all. Thank you.